Algae Bloom. No, not the rapid increase in population of algae in freshwater or marine water systems. I am talking about the two-piece screamo band from Norwich, UK. On guitar, bass, and mostly vocals, we have Matt Taylor and Lee on the standing drum kit and writing a majority of their lyrics. And later, a guy named Steph on bass and additional vocals on their album I Am Less Than I Expected to Be. Algae Bloom performed their first show on December 4th, 2014, stating on Facebook, "Our first show is at the B2 a week today," while also during this time coming out with their first demos like Bed Springs, Ground in My Mouth, Horrible Demons under the record label Wolftown DIY, which would receive more attention than the band expected, stating, "It's just been over a month since we put out those first demos. Huge thanks to everyone who's taken interest in us since then. We did not expect such positivity." And after their first gig, they would go on to take some time to sit down and focus on self-recording a proper 6-track EP, while at the same time playing some more shows at places like Portsmouth, UK, and Nottingham. January 21st, 2015 is when they announced that their 7-track debut, I'm Still Scared of Living, will be recorded straight to tape at Old School Studios on February 7th and will be released a day after or so. Finally, a little later than they promised, February 15th, 2015 is when Algae Bloom's debut, I Am Still Scared of Living EP would be released on Bandcamp. On Bandcamp, under the album, they write, "These songs were written September 2014 to January 2015 as an attempt to break a year-long creative stasis and to critically address some personal issues that stemmed from this period of inactivity. They have been instrumental to us in the gradual process of getting better, and as such are both an exercise in catharsis and celebration of themselves." This album received an incredible positive response, and with that motivating the band, they would go on to perform more shows. Also being mentioned in the UK student journalist-run Audio Addict magazine, published on March 13th, 2015, in the section titled The State of Emo, where it mentions how the emo subgenre screamo is now on top and writes this about Algae Bloom specifically. Algae Bloom are fairly new to the emo scene. Born out of the ashes of previous band Halogens, the Norwich-based two-piece are impressing people all over the UK with their scrappy, lo-fi style of scrams. Made up of guitarist Matt and standing drummer Lee, the band borrow countless influences from New York's Told Saint, but manage to keep completely fresh and incredible rawness to their Horrible Demos release, creating a beautiful mess packed with experimentation and originality. On May 1st, 2015, the band would post on their Facebook saying, "Received a weird amount for us of attention this past week. Kind words mean a lot to both of us. Album number 2 is well underway." They would continue to tour with bands like Cop Graveyard and do a split with them that would include an I Hate Myself cover and a new demo titled Untitled. Also being mentioned in another important magazine, Art Needs an Operation, they state, "There's some really exciting music coming from the UK hardcore scene at the moment. While it is still a scene full of bands that sound the same, there has been hints at a rise of scrams and emo violence bands releasing music in the UK. It is a style that has never really caught on here, making this emergence all the more interesting and leading to fascinating bands like Algae Bloom to emerge. With a single guitar and standing drum kit, the duo play intricate sounds, but allow the sparseness brought about having so few instruments to add a really emotive melancholy to their music. It allows for the looseness of melodies and muddleness of production quality to not hinder the sound by becoming inaudible, but to add this beautiful landscape Algae Bloom create. Cassette quality music is so perfectly suited to emo music if done well, and here Algae Bloom are doing it to perfection. These all may seem like things that could hinder how captivating a whole album could be. It seems like a hard task for so little instrumentation and such a minimal approach to create a unique sound, but even from the first few notes of the EP, Algae Bloom managed to create emotions that bring a lump to my throat. The beautiful drifting riffs of guitarist Matt seem so playful as they flow through each song, coupled with the almost melodic percussionist of Lee and striking vocals reminisce of the strained voice of Orchard's Jason Green. This album album seems so simple, so few elements make up the 7 tracks, but it creates such strong emotion. It's hypnotic, haunting, and everything screamo should be. This duo have some real talent for producing heart-wrenching music. It wasn't until September 9th, 2015 when Algae Bloom would part ways with Driftwood Records due to the creator of it having sexual assault allegations against him. Algae Bloom states, "So we've just become aware of assault allegations made about Danny Eckert of now defunct Driftwood Records, who put out our tape in the USA. While we don't have all the details, we're not about to side with the accused in this situation due to the potential additional harm this can cause victims, and as such we are distancing ourselves from him and from the label." At the end of 2015, they would play shows at places like Leeds, Nottingham, Cheltenham, Portsmouth, and Norwich. And their 4th day of tour, Matt Taylor was interviewed by Rad Times Promotions. In this interview, Matt is asked, "Who are your main influences musically?" And he responded with, "My Head in the Clouds, You'll Live, Dave Spikey, Jerome's Dream." Also asked questions like, "What do you hope to achieve in music?" and responded, "Build a safer scene and play meaningful shows." The reason for the album not coming out in 2015 is due to this post on Algae Bloom's Facebook. "Winter is a really hard time of year for me. I feel bad sitting on the album for the rest of 2015, but know that when we do release it, it will be because we feel excited and positive about it, which I'm finding difficult at the moment. Take care of yourselves and each other." Finishing their Europe tour around July of 2016, they would announce their split with I Hate Sex and Black Knight Satellite is up on July 27th, 2016, contributing their track titled A Wait in Space. In an article published on February 28, 2017 on the Eastern Daily Press, section titled 4 Norwich Artists to Look Out For in 2017, Algae Bloom being one of them, they say, "Having opened for numerous touring bands at venues such as Open and the Owl Sanctuary, these guys have certainly made their mark in some of the city's finest venues. By blending emotional, discordant vocals with beautifully crafted guitar playing, combined with the raw energy of percussionist Lee Nixon's pounding drums, the sound is truly unique." Having toured across Europe as well as the UK several times in their short existence, they have gained a loyal fan base. Algae Bloom are a key asset to our local music scene and a fantastic example that anyone can start a band. December 10th, 2017, Algae Bloom published their 4-way split with the band You Live, Solanas, and Good Times, contributing one track titled Tedious and Brief. Wrapping up 2017 and moving into 2018, on January 1st, 2018, Algae Bloom would go on to announce a new band they're forming under the name of The Sylvia North Story, stating on Facebook, "New year, new band, same lovable boys," and uploading their first EP titled The Sylvia North Story 1. With 4 tracks on it, the band's description on Bandcamp states, "The Sylvia North Story was an experimental screamo songwriting project that existed for 6 months in 2018. With the more scratchy, darker, lo-fi sound that would overpower Matt's vocals, it was definitely something more experimental for the band than their recent stuff. The Sylvia North Story would go on to last for 6 months and have a total of 6 EPs released, 1 EP for each month of the year up till May." It's also interesting because I feel as though not many people even know about this side project. Now on March 20th, 2018, on the first day of spring, Algae Bloom would finally release their long-awaited split with the popular Connecticut screamo band Foxtails titled Spring, with 4 tracks on their part. Stated on Bandcamp under the album, it says, "This is our attempt at unbridled positivity to coincide with the end of a long and difficult winter." Algae Bloom also posted on their Facebook stating, "Foxtails are incredible and their side of the split is the crucial screamo release of 2018. Thanks to Dan Fine Tapes, Adorno Records, Nothing Feels Good Records, and Sophia's Floorboard." Sophia's Floorboard states, "Foxtails brings 2 tracks to the table, featuring their unique brand of technical screamo with clean, dissonant instrumentation and manic, haunting vocals. Just listen to the throat-shrieking climax of Cucaracho to hear everything incredible about this band." Algae Bloom bringing this split home with the final 4 tracks. They come through with a warm, fret-frenzied style of Midwestern emo that teeters between melancholy and melodic. Vocally, they top it off with some hoarse screaming, giving these would-be calm songs a shot of incredible desperation. The highlight on their side would probably have to be those syncopated breaks on Understanding and Negative, though this whole split is nothing short of awesome. May 12, 2018, Algae Bloom would perform their last show as a two-piece at the Miss the Stars Festival in Berlin, Germany, and then welcome their third member, Steph, on bass and vocals. Their third album, titled I'm Less Than I Expected to Be, would not come out till May 31st, 2019, with 9 tracks total. Under the album and Bandcamp, they write, "These songs were written May to September 2018. They form a greater narrative about emotional absenteeism, reconciling a desire for creative purity with the multiplicity of adult life and its inherent responsibilities, attempting to be proactive in self-improvement and the struggle to continue on unabated through endless cycles of positive revelations and eventual stagnation." With this written as a description, it is pretty obvious that this album had deep messages and was very important for the band. This album would not receive as much attention as their prior albums, but would get an honorable mention on the Brooklyn American magazine called Brooklyn Vegan section titled 12 Great Screamo Releases from 2019, posted on January 3rd, 2020. Sadly, July 26th, the band played their last ever Norwich show at the Talk venue. Replying to a comment that stated, "Wait, are you guys breaking up?" Algae Bloom states, "No, but we're all moving to different cities. This is our final hometown show." And also during this time, it would be the band's last time posting on their Facebook page, where they would usually update their fans of new releases, and this is most likely due to the fact that during this time, COVID-19 started to hit the world. March 19th, 2021, Algae Bloom would hint to a re-release of their most loved, I Am Everyone I've Ever Met, stating that details are hazy right now, but we're working on a re-release. Finally, in 2021, Algae Bloom posts on their Instagram a photo of Matt and Lee and the caption stating, "First hang in 18 months." Obviously, the fans were very excited to see this post because it's been so long since the last time they were together. And on their Instagram, they would post a flyer of a show that they were going to play at, and the caption states, "First show in 2 years is creeping up. We'll be releasing something special on the day to celebrate." They would play their first show in 2 years at Boom Venue in Leeds, England on October 29th, 2021, and on the same date, they would release their half-decade remaster of I Am Everyone I've Ever Met, featuring a new bass guitar part, plus all the samples they used live. It's now April 2022 as I'm making this video, and there's been little updates on the Algae Bloom's Instagram or Facebook page. Not only did Algae Bloom create amazing music, they also created a safer scene for UK DIY bands. Algae Bloom advocated for the importance of equality through numerous posts on their social media pages. For example, denying a venue that, as found out, openly rents to fascist groups, and stated, "Please don't hesitate to contact us if we're unwillingly endorsing or supporting something that you think goes against our politics as a band. Thanks." In another post, they state, "Predatory behavior by musicians with a young/underage following is completely despicable. Boycott them and any promoters/venues/labels who continue to associate with them because of the easy revenue they generate." And in a post that sums this all up, they state, "Just as a heads up, Algae Bloom are actively opposed to sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, transmisogyny, body shaming, and ableism as both an active part of the DIY punk scene and as individuals. We have existed as a band for too long without making this clear." Now, the future of the band is unknown, and even if the band does split, Algae Bloom will still go down as one of the most influential screamo bands of the 2010s.